This doesn't sound like the usual mindless, boring, getting to know you chit-chat. This sounds like you actually have something to say.
Okay, so thanks to Pete for Snastastic for those questions. Uh, on to the next set. Who's next? Tyzwain. Ty, thanks for the questions. He is next. He's got 4 as well. Uh, what's your favorite piece of gaming art that you've done or you bought? Since we're talking about art that I have done, that was actually me drawing something. But these these posters that I scanned and cleaned and stuff, um, I really enjoy. I think are really kind of cool. But this Mario one, I redesigned the thing, the whole damn thing. Because if you look at your Mario game, the cart, his character model is not the way his character actually looks in the game. And it's on the front of every single Mario Kart you're ever going to see for Super Mario Brothers or the double cart. The character model of Mario does not look right. And so I redesigned this whole box front, including the little thing in the corner, the seal, the whole deal, and used the correct character model and printed that off. And that might be in recent memory my favorite piece of artwork that I've done that I reworked. So stuff I bought. I mean, the stuff I have in my rooms, the Sonic and the Link and Zelda wall scrolls, and even the Mario and Luigi up there wall scrolls. I really love too. They weren't that expensive. Um, so that would be the answer to that question. Top 5 NES games. Awesome question. Um, with 800 games, it's kind of rough. Sorry, I'm talking myself dry. Um, top 5 NES games. I'm going to say I've written this down once. I've anguished over this in the past, and I wrote it down once, and I'm going to stick to what I wrote down. Here it is. Um, I did a top 10 back in the day because I wanted to see if I could even pick 10. So, sorry, Ty, I'm going to have to go with the top 10. Top 10, number 10 on my top 10 list would be Mega Man 2. That game, and I have quite a history. Another true lie. My buddy had bought the game. He was laid up over a summer. He had gotten an accident with a car that hit him when he was riding his bike, and he broke his ankle really bad and had to have a plate put in and stuff. And he was laid up all summer. And his mom went and bought Mega Man 2 for him because I had seen it when I was at Toys R Us, and I told him that it was out, and his mom went and bought it. And the next day I came over. He had already played through the whole game. He was on the last stage. He had already, played through all the other levels. And we made it we made it down to the boss. He was in the area where you fight the 8 guys and then you fight Wily, and he thought that was going to be the end. And we beat it, or he beat it, and he was all happy and shit. And then he found out you fall through this cave and you got to go down and fight the other thing. And we couldn't figure out at first what to hit him with. We finally figured out it was the bubble thing. He tried it 4 or 5 times and was like pissed at it, but he didn't want to shut it off. And so he went in to use the bathroom, make himself something to eat or something. I don't remember. But when he left the room, I asked him if I could give it a shot. I beat it. And he was so fucking pissed at me. But I just laughed. I laughed my ass off. There was another guy in the room with me, too, and he's like going, he's going to beat it, he's going to beat it. And my buddy from the other room's going, yeah, right, fuck you guys, da-da-da-da-da. And I beat it, and he was so pissed at me. And I said, well, if it's that easy, let me get you back there. I'll just play the last level again. But that's my Mega Man 2 story. Um, Number 9 on my list was Contra. The 30-man code. You can play through the game just over and over again. You can just sit there and play it through over and over again. Didn't matter. Um, it's still a classic to this day. Number 8, I'm going to pick Final Fantasy. I was a big Final Fantasy fan. The airship, the regular ship, the fact that you could basically grow your character, from a young character to a more mature character. I forget what they called it, knighthood or whatever it was, but you had to use that rat tail or whatever and get the level. That game was awesome. One of my most fulfilling role-playing experiences from when I was a kid. Number 7, I'm going to pick Metal Gear. I love the original Metal Gear game. I had no idea that there was other Metal Gear games, especially on the MSX versions and stuff. But I really enjoyed the original Metal Gear. I remember thinking how cool it was that there was kind of a motion. They didn't. It was line of sight and stuff, and it felt really, really unique at the time. Number 6, and this was a favorite of mine, but the number 6 slot would be Ultima Exodus. That's another role-playing game, and I told you we played the hell out of this game when I was younger, but it only made it to number 6. This is my top 5, Ty. Number 5 is Simon's Quest. I loved Simon's Quest when it came out. I've seen the nerd video. I know how frustrating it is that it does go to night and day so often. And I always thought it was a ripoff that you lost all your hearts if you died. I thought it should at least half them or something instead of losing all of them. But that game has a lot of nostalgia for me. So Simon's Quest made number 5. Number 4 is Ninja Gaiden. That game, when I got it, I remember buying it. I remember getting it at Kmart. I was down at my dad's staying the weekend. I remember buying it and not being able to play it all weekend because my Nintendo was at home. And when I got home Sunday evening, diving to the Nintendo and playing through the first 2 levels, first 2 areas, the first area and then the cinema and then the second area, before we even ate supper because I wanted to play it so bad. And I remember my mom calling me once or twice to come eat before I finally gave up. Number 3, I'm picking Zelda 2. I love the original Zelda. I have so much reverence for it, but I couldn't put it in my top 10. I loved Zelda 2 even that much more. And it just seems so much more epic. The 2 islands, the palaces, the leveling up system. I did miss not being able to buy stuff, like having a shop. I did miss that, but the down thrust, I loved that. I remember beating that game so many times. I love it. I told you that there's a game that I really is one of my favorites. It's always been a favorite of mine all the way through. My number 2 is Metroid. That game is so vast on that early system, and is there's 2 mini bosses and a big boss. I mean, it just felt like mini boss. Jeez Louise. Love that game. I could play through it, over and over again. Number 1 spot is Wizards and Warriors, Ty. I love Wizards and Warriors. It's an acclaimed game. It had a score system with a high score, but I never paid attention to the score as a kid. You had unlimited continues. You were a knight in armor, and you just basically went to rescue the princesses and save the day. And you fought bats and wizards and giant skulls and whatever. You found cool things like the boots of force and the dagger of throwing and the staff of freezing and really basic sounding things that were really cool at the time, it seemed. So